The Sahara is the largest and hottest desert in the world, and it covers a considerable portion of North Africa. Within the yellow sands of this desolate area lie entire cities, yet beyond those sands are vast stretches of the surrounding region that have not yet been explored. It is not entirely composed of nothing but dunes either. This environment is made up of a variety of different features, including mountain ranges, plains of gravel, and even rivers. The Sahara Desert is also getting larger. Because of climate change, rainfall in the region is becoming less frequent, which means that the area that is considered to be desert is expanding each year, while at the same time, precious arable land is drying up. You have most likely never heard of the hidden treasure that is located in the village of Chinguetti in the African nation of Mauritania. A significant number of desert caravans used to stop in Chinguetti on their journeys. When visitors came through an area, not only did they carry plenty of commodities with them, but they also brought with them a wealth of information. Books on mathematics, physics, philosophy, and languages were carefully preserved here by intellectuals who collected them and put them away for future generations to read. A mosque was erected in the community not long after the first copies of the Quran arrived, and not long after that, the manuscripts themselves. Despite its location in the middle of a desolate desert, Chinguetti became famous for the amount of knowledge and trade it possessed. In what is now known as the Forgotten Libraries of Chinguetti, these books can still be found to this day, along with records of all the passengers that went through the area. Chinguetti is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site due in large part to its collection of historic libraries. Nevertheless, if you come to town today, you won't find much else of interest here. The town appears to be haunted, as there are very few traces of activity, and the streets are mostly deserted. However, there are still 4,000 people living here. The vast majority of them are employed inside the libraries, which are currently seeing a literal crumbling of old books. Because of its geographical positioning, Chinguetti is particularly vulnerable to the effects of a changing climate. Since many years ago, the sand from the desert has been gradually moving closer to the town, and concurrently, the number of residents has been gradually reducing. There will come a time when the town no longer exists at all. However, until that time comes, Chinguetti will continue to store a few of the oldest scholarly works that can be found in this region of the world. Before the last 7,000 years, the Sahara was a verdant savanna where a wide variety of grasslands, plants, and animals could be found. The rain eventually became less frequent and then ceased altogether, and the desert began to take over the land. Michael Huniewicz came across an old book on West Africa as he was getting ready for a trip to Mauritania. Within the pages of the book, he discovered something that piqued his interest: the Forgotten Libraries of the Sahara. These libraries were a part of the town of Chinguetti, which was a center of activity in the 17th century. Huniewicz posed the question, what could be more romantic? Even though 4,000 people are living there and librarians who will still show you the old books that are preserved in the libraries, Michael encountered what appeared to be a ghost town when he arrived there. Michael was surprised to find that the town was still inhabited. The Dead Sea Scrolls, which were unearthed between 1946 and 1956, are widely regarded as one of the most important archaeological discoveries in human history. Even though it is only one of 981 writings, the Copper Scroll is accorded a great deal of importance since it is said to be a treasure map. This is because the Copper Scroll was discovered. It is interesting to note that the Hebrew that is engraved on it is not the same Old Hebrew that is found in the rest of the writings, since the Hebrew that is engraved on it is a dialect that was more often used several hundred years later. The text of the Copper Scrolls is an inventory that lists 64 locations that have tons of gold and silver combined. The directions are extremely detailed, providing information on where to dig, how far one should anticipate having to dig, and even the precise items that make up the prize itself. Even though there is no proof to substantiate the existence of these treasures, there are currently continuing expeditions dedicated to uncovering the whereabouts of these gems. Citizens of Timbuktu, which is located on the outskirts of the huge Sahara Desert, secretly escaped the city and fled into the surrounding wilderness. They concealed the boxes by burying them in the sand of the desert, hiding them in caverns, and locking them up in hidden places. These containers contained a treasure that was more valuable than gold. It was the city's collection of old books. Why were they trying to keep these irreplaceable texts a secret? Elizabeth Cox investigates the rich literary tradition of the African country of Timbuktu. Hundreds of strange stone buildings can be seen here. Western Sahara is the location where it was found. In Western Sahara, a region of Africa that has received very little attention from archaeologists, dozens upon dozens of stone buildings dating back thousands of years have been found. According to the book The Archaeology of Western Sahara, a synthesis of fieldwork, 2002 to 2009, published by archaeologists, the structures appear to come in a wide variety of sizes and shapes, and archaeologists are unsure of what many of them were used for or when they were created. These findings are included in the book Oxbow Books, 2018. Morocco maintains jurisdiction over approximately 75% of the Western Saharan land, the majority of the coastline included. The Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic holds authority over the remaining 25% of the territory. Before 1991, the two governments were technically at war with one another. In the portion of Western Sahara that is under the administration of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, archaeologists spent their time in the field between the years 2002 and 2009 conducting landscape surveys and carrying out some limited excavation work. According to what is written in the book, they also studied satellite photographs using Google Earth. Strange buildings and monuments. Structures made of stone can be created in a broad range of different ways. Some of the buildings are shaped like crescents, while others form circles. Others are arranged in straight lines. Yet others are arranged in rectangular shapes that resemble platforms. And still, others are made out of rocks that have been stacked in a heap. In addition, several of the buildings make use of a mix of the aforementioned architectural styles. The archaeologists noted in their book that one structure includes a combination of straight lines, stone circles, a platform, and rock piles that together form a complex that is approximately 2,066 feet, 630 meters, long. As an example, one structure has a mix of straight lines, stone circles, a platform, and rock piles. Evidence of a prehistoric megalake has been found by geologists buried deep within the dunes of the Sahara Desert. The Nile River burst through a low channel in Wadi Tushka approximately 250,000 years ago, flooding the eastern Sahara and creating a lake that at its highest level covered more than 42,000 square miles. When it was at its highest height, the lake covered more than 42,000 square miles. The National Museum of the Air and Space Exploration, while analyzing radar data of Egypt that was collected by the Space Shuttle Radar Topography mission, geologist Ted Maxwell and his colleagues recently found evidence of the lake. Geologists were able to piece together the topography of an ancient megalake by using photographs of sediments that were blown by the wind, sediments that were created by running water, and bedrock visible by radar beneath the sands of the desert. The high aridity of Egypt makes it easier for radar to discern distinct features underneath the surface of the country. Up to 50 feet below the surface of the desert, buried channels can be uncovered with the proper equipment. How was the video? Do you like it? Post your precious feedback in our comment section below and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.